Ready? Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is John Brenneman, and thank you for joining us for a very special webinar today. We are actually going to talk about 3 different MOAA signature groups, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. But first off, just a couple housekeeping things. We are recording this webinar, so either this evening or tomorrow morning, you will receive a copy of this webinar so you can review it if there's any of the signature groups that you'd like to have more information on. I'm going to talk a little bit at the beginning. I'm just going to talk about MOAA vacations and then talk about the signature groups themselves. And then I'm going to turn it over to Nicole, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about Uniworld. And then we're going to go through the 3 signature groups that we have for 2024, which is Paris and Normandy, Venice and the Jewels of Veneto, and then the Danube holiday market. So we're really looking forward to that information. And then after Nicole's done with that, we're going to have a Q&A, opportunity to ask any questions you might have on any of these groups. And so without any further ado, I'm going to jump right into MOAA vacations. I think most of the people looking at the approximately, I think 98 people registered for this webinar. So I think most of you have been to a webinar previously. So I'm going to go through the first part kind of quickly. We do provide a concierge level of service. As I say repeatedly, we are and continue to be the only travel agency that does travel on a satisfaction guaranteed basis. We have the guaranteed lowest prices. On top of that guaranteed lowest price, we do have a free amenity program. Our good friends at Uniworld do participate in this. That means that you will receive a $200 onboard credit on any Uniworld cruise, any departure date. For the signature groups, we actually bumped that up to $300. That's $150 per person, $300 per stateroom. And that's in addition to the lowest prices we already have. And then group opportunities. We're going to talk about signature groups, but before we go to that slide, just a second to talk about groups. We do a vast array of groups here at MOAA Vacations. If it's you and a group of your friends that want to go, you and your family, multi-generational travel has become so huge. In fact, Uniworld has specific sailings that are designed for families. So if your family, your kids, your grandkids, and you would all like to go on a cruise, absolutely reach out. I've actually been on one of those family departures before, and it's a great experience. It's nice to go on a sailing that has other kids on board. Not a lot of kids on Uniworld unless you go on one of the family sailings, which to me is awesome. If you're going and you want to go with kids, they have that opportunity. The signature groups, however, are not kind of designed for those families. So not that you couldn't bring kids or grandkids along, but don't anticipate a lot of them being on board. And then, of course, we can also do groups with your chapter. Or even the states. In fact, we're talking to a couple of states that are going to team up together. So if there's something that you want to do and you're active in your COC or your chapter, absolutely give us a call. We'd love to work with your chapter or COC officers to put something together, give you an opportunity to go somewhere. We have 3 opportunities this year, and we're going to actually have another one next year. But even with those 4, there's a ton of itineraries, destinations. We can't do everything Uniworld has to offer. Okay, signature groups. Signature groups, just a couple of points here I like to talk about. I always describe them as groups on steroids. And by that, I mean everything that you would expect, the discount, the camaraderie, those types of things in a group is included in a signature group, plus a number of other things. And that's what these bullets are. The signature groups are hosted by MOAA leadership and staff. They will be on board the cruise with you. They are there to ensure that you have a stress-free vacation. And it's also a great opportunity to interact with MOAA leaderships. I know, having escorted some of these, a lot of members really, really like the opportunity to talk to leadership and staff and ask questions and learn more about what MOAA is doing in DC for yourself and other veterans. They are all inclusive. I know Nicole's going to talk a little bit about this, but these are really designed so from the second you land, Uniworld will pick you up at the airport, take you to the ship. Until you get off the ship, there's really nothing you need to spend money on. Everything's included And yet you also have $300 onboard credit. And as we kind of look at what's not included, and there's just a couple of things that aren't, there are some what they call master piece shore excursions that you can take. They're smaller kind of more, I don't know the term, they're smaller kind of unique kind of opportunities that may not appeal to everyone. I know on Paris and Normandy, this year is the 80th anniversary of the landings, D-Day landings. We did the same cruise with Paris and Normandy 5 years ago in 2019 for the 75th anniversary. Still the most popular, highest rated cruises we've ever done. They offered a motorcycle sidecar tour of Paris. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's just kind of an example of something that the people that went on it loved it, but there was a lot of people that were like, I do not want to get in a motorcycle sidecar. So those types of things. There are some ultra premium liquor, bottled wine, those types of things. There's even a gift shop on board. So that $300 is in case there's anything that you want to do that's not included. Once again, make sure that you can go and not worry having to spend money every single day. We will have some exclusive events, excursions on board. We always on Signature Groups have a welcome cocktail party, a welcome reception, and a farewell reception. I mentioned that these are exclusive opportunities. Everyone on these sailings is going to be a MOAA member. But you can bring friends and family along. Anything. We want this vacation to be the best possible vacation. So if you'd have more fun, if your brother-in-law or your daughter or your neighbors or whoever came along on this cruise, absolutely invite them. Feel free to share this webinar with them and let them see what the opportunities are. I don't think we've done a signature group yet without one or two people actually bringing friends and family along. So absolutely feel free to do so if you'd like. And then the final thing is a rare opportunity. In 2024, I guess technically we have 4 signature groups. All 4 of them are with Uniworld this year. We've used them a number of times in the past. Everyone loves them. If you talk to anybody who's been on any of the Uniworld signature groups, you'll hear nothing but rave reviews. So they are kind of limited possibilities. So if it's something you're looking for, excellent. These are we have. Okay, so the reason I mentioned we have 4. We did Paris and Normandy, June 9th departure. That one is sold out. I actually looked at the website this morning. I think we have 1 Riverview room remaining. Since that one sold out, we actually are doing the exact same cruise. It's going to have the same excursions. It's really the exact same cruise as the first one, which June 9th to 16th. So that one's available. Venice and the Jewels of Veneto. Can't wait to hear Nicole talk about that. I've heard her talk about it before. It is really kind of unique in the fact that it's not a river cruise. It's actually a cruise through the Veneto lagoon. So rather than going down a river, you're actually stopping at little towns and villages. But I don't want to steal Nicole's thunder, so I'm going to move on that. And then of course the ever popular holiday markets, Danube holiday markets. We have that. It's the perfect time to go there the first week or second week in December. And so we're going to talk about those. But first, I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. And she is going to talk to us about Uniworld and then go through those 3 itineraries, the Normandy, the Venice, and the holiday markets. If you put your cursor at the bottom of the screen, or if you're on a tablet, however you get down there, you will see there's a little kind of bubble kind of text kind of thing that says Q&A. We are going to do the Q&A at the end of Nicole's presentation, but if you have questions while Nicole is going through and talking, feel free to ask them in the Q&A. I'm going to be answering questions as Nicole goes through. If it's something I think that everybody will benefit from hearing, or in the case, it might even be a question I don't know the answer to, we'll actually save those to the end. But we are here until we get all of your questions answered, so you can either ask them during Nicole's presentation or at the end. And so, without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. Nicole, tell us more about Uniworld and why it is the most popular river cruise line for MOAA members.
All right. Thanks, John. What a nice introduction. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining John and I today. I'm really excited to give you some insights into river cruising with Uniworld, what makes us different, and to talk about the 3 itineraries and 4 different sail dates that we have. It is a wonderful opportunity for you to step on board with MOAA and travel with other members and see your way through the rivers of Europe. They've really chosen some great itineraries for 2024. And I will tell you, John and I recently were looking at inventory of what is left. And if any of these are just piquing your interest a little bit, act on it. A river ship has only so many cabins. On average, our ships hold about 130 guests. And so those fill up very quickly. That's, right around 60, 65 cabins. And so, again, any kind of interest, it really is the time to pull that trigger. So let me tell you about Uniworld. We have celebrated a pretty milestone anniversary of being on the rivers. We're one of the very first river cruise companies out there for several decades. We're right at about 40 years. And we really believe in giving you a experience just as extraordinary as the destination when you're sailing on our ships with us. And this is the beautiful SS MOAA Teresa, which is the ship we will use for the Danube's holiday market. And it's just so lovely, this picture, because I could show this kind of picture in just about every destination that we have, in that the rivers and cities, the cities were built around the rivers centuries ago for transportation of goods, right? So we're pulling right into those cities. This is right in Budapest, and you get right off the ship and walk into the cities, and it's just so nice. And in the evenings we sail, and it's a wonderful way to just relax and enjoy the destination. So there's many questions like, why a river cruise? Here's another picture. This happens to be the SS Catherine in Avignon, France, pulling just outside of Avignon where the Pope's Palace is. It is truly immersive and all-inclusive. John touched on that when he first started speaking today about Uniworld and getting off and owing almost nothing. The reality is we don't even take your credit card when you come on board our ships because there's so little that is not included with us. I'm going to talk about what is not included with us and what you could use your shipboard credit with. But it is such a nice experience. Get on board, unpack once, let us take care of all the details while you enjoy your vacation. Boutique ships, nice and small. So when you think of this, just 130 guests on average on our ships. We're always close to land, so we can pull that ship over if we have any need to. And that's really nice that, you're just sailing past all these wonderful villages and towns and stuff, and you see the locals walking the rivers or riding their bikes or whatever. And it's just really a relaxing experience. Really unmatched convenience, especially since we take care of every single detail that you have. There's no lines or crowds. When you get on board, we do get your passport picture, but you're pretty much escorted to breakfast if you've probably arrived early morning, or lunch midday. You'll get into your cabin a little bit later in the day as our rooms become available, but there's no queuing in lines with River Cruise, which makes it just so seamless. So why Uniworld? We are truly the most all-inclusive river cruise line out there. There's no one else on the rivers who is as all-inclusive as Uniworld is, who delivers on outstanding service and one-of-a-kind award-winning ships. We really anticipate your need when you get on board our ships every single day. When you're off touring, we pay attention to see how you are when you get back onto the ship and say, oh, do you need a warm towel or anything? And we just try to give you all those little warm and fuzzy feelings that you're really going to enjoy your vacation, knowing you're being taken care of by our staff. Wonderful, delicious farm-to-table cuisine. I'm going to show you some pictures of the food, and it is like dining at a five-star restaurant every single night with us. You can have anywhere from a couple of courses up to like 5 or 6 courses if you did the cheese pairing at the beginning and the dessert at the end, and salad and appetizers and all of that in between. And so our owner, Mrs. Tolman, is a chef. herself, and she has worked with all of our chefs on board our ship to really deliver a culinary experience, as I mentioned, dining at a 5-star restaurant. And so I think you'll really enjoy all of your meals, even your breakfast and lunch. They're over the top buffets, but every detail is paid attention to. And of course, we have all of your experiences when you get off of the ship. We've been doing this for so long that we know what the must-sees are and who to work with to get those booked for you and such. And so we really have paid attention to our relationships over in Europe to ensure that you are seeing the sites, that you're doing it with the right guides, and doing it with fewer crowds, because Uniworld has some really great exclusives that I will talk about. So when we talk about the most all-inclusive with Uniworld, what does that look like? It does mean your beverages 24/7, any kind of beverage. So start with a latte, a cappuccino, have your teas, your sodas, any of that is included. We have juices, etc. Then we've got your mock cocktails that we'll do for you. We have got your cognacs, your wines, your beers, local spirits, things along those lines. So any kind of beverage 24/7 is included with us. As I mentioned, your meals every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is on our ship, unless we have something on the itinerary. We're maybe having something off the ship that day. But for the most part, you're eating every day on the ship if you'd like to eat with us. Of course, all your airport transfers are included. If we did your air for you, or if you did it on your own. If you're arriving early, then if you're doing part of our pre or post package, then airport transfers are included. Tipping, this is so nice. I just got off of an ocean liner and got my tipping envelope, and I was like, I owe what? Which I should. It was very good service. But what is nice about Uniworld is the tipping is included. You don't have to worry about that. We've already added that in, and you just are there to enjoy our service and our amenities. So of course, every single day there are tours that are included. You don't have to go on all the same tours as the person you came with. Oftentimes my husband and I do kind of split up, probably around day 4 where I need a little break. We go our different direction, but you could do tours together. There's multiple choices to choose from. Sometimes my husband goes on a bicycling tour with us and I go off and do something else. So there are multiple tours to choose from every day. We do have that onboard entertainment that we offer. We have got your Wi-Fi is included. We've got butler service for those guests staying in a suite with us. In-room amenities. We've got some wonderful Esprit body products. We have got your robes, your slippers. One of the things I always forget to mention, but I love it when I get on board, is the heated towel racks and the heated floors in our bathrooms. It's a lovely little added perk that you don't think is such a big thing until you get it and you're like, wow, I love getting out of the shower and having a heated towel. Makes those little touches noticeable. So there's so much included with Uniworld that you kind of have to say, what would I use a shipboard credit for? As John mentioned, there are a couple of tours that we do above and beyond. He mentioned the vintage sidecar motorcycle ride. That is an additional cost. I've done it. It was a lot of fun. I loved waving to all the Frenchies as we were zooming past them when we were in Paris. I also did the Moulin Rouge in Paris. We do a night at the Moulin Rouge, and so that was really lovely. So those would be an additional cost. But again, during the day, there are included tours. We also have some kind of above and beyond bottles of wine. If you were maybe celebrating something major, an anniversary or such, a big birthday, you might want to upgrade that bottle of wine. It's totally not necessary, but some people like to do that, and that's okay. And as John mentioned, we do have a gift store on our ships that you can come in and shop away with that $300 per cabin. So there are a few things. I will tell you, I've gotten off of doing 3 weeks of back-to-back rivers a few years ago, and I owed very, very little. And it wasn't because I was an employee. It was because there's just so much that's all included that I didn't have to worry about additional costs. So that's really so very nice. Mrs. Tolman, on top of being a chef, is also an interior decorator, and she has gone into all of our ships and made them look like the destination. So you get on board, they're one-of-a-kind ships. They are award-winning ships, and they are ships that were built for the rivers in which they are sailing in. So we don't move our ships around. They stay right there in that same destination for their lifetime. And that's because we want them to look and feel like the destination. And so it is like staying at a boutique hotel off on land, but you are on a floating boutique hotel for that area. And she brings on her artwork. Some of our ships have over $1 million worth of artwork. And so they just ooze luxury and are really just beautiful to walk around and look at the art and enjoy everything she's done on them. If you are staying in a suite with us, our butlers have gone through the same training program as Buckingham Palace butlers, and they are exceptional butlers. They really anticipate your needs. I've had a butler twice before, and it is a lovely experience to be so pampered and taken care of during your vacation. This is the time to do it in life, so go and do it, spend the money. But even if you are not staying in a suite with us, our other employees on board the ship, they are English speaking, number one. They love to share their life with you on what it's like to live on a river ship. They're so insightful. They're local for the region, and so they will give you the insights of things to go and see and do, and where to stop and maybe grab a snack or something, or what to purchase in a stop. And they're just really exceptional. These are the people who make my job very easy, because they really are there to deliver on personal service while you're on your vacation. As I mentioned at the very beginning, artful presentation, your food, it is so true. One time there's a video of me, my mouth was just like, it opened in awe because I was seeing this dessert that they had made, and it just was like eating a piece of art. And every single night there are several different entree choices to choose from. And there will always be something that is local for the region. So if you were out at a restaurant off the ship and eating something that was local for that day, we will have that likely in our dining room that evening. But we also anticipate there are people that maybe don't want the local item. Like in France, we do mussels. My husband is not a mussels person, but I am. So he could pick a chicken or a steak dish or some other entree. We will also always have a veggie option. We will have and can help with a gluten-free option, low sodium. Just let us know in advance if you have any dietary needs. The one thing we can't cook on board our ships is have oh gosh, I just lost what I was going to say. So I'll skip that. Sorry about that. A kosher meal service, but we can't bring on kosher meals. So we don't have a kosher kitchen. So that is an option for you. Endless pours. So it is no mystery what we are serving. You will see our Maker's Mark. You will see our Remy Martin. You will see our Bombay Sapphire or your Grey Goose. We are serving all top shelf liqueurs. We are also bringing on the regional beers for that region in which we're in. So we will be serving what you would get out if you were at a local pub. We are also bringing on the wines for that day. Usually we're off at the wineries picking up some wines and bringing those on for service that night during your dinners. So it's really exceptional. But nothing is more stunning than stepping on board as stepping off of our ships. And that is so true. You were there for the destination. We're going to talk in just a moment about the destinations. What is nice with us is we have worked with these guides for decades. They're all English speaking. They love to share with you their life in the destination and give you little insights and stuff. What Uniworld is exceptional about doing is breaking you into small little groups so that you can ask questions. You can take the photograph. You aren't, up against a whole bunch of other tourists trying to get in to see something. We're bypassing lines. And that's so important because we know your vacation is short and every minute counts. And so Uniworld does a really good job of getting you exclusively into things or bypassing lines if there's any, so that you can enjoy every minute of your vacation. And I think these are just some of the things that make Uniworld exceptional. And now John has chosen and MOAA has chosen some wonderful, wonderful itineraries. The first one, June 9th to the 16th, 2024. We're in it. And I'm so excited. This is Paris and Normandy. This is celebrating the 80th anniversary landing of Normandy beaches. I wish I was on this because this is going to be historic for all of you to go and enjoy. And as John mentioned, there's very little space left on this. So get yourself booked as quickly as you possibly can. And why not? This is on the SS Joie de Vivre. This ship is called the Joy of Life, is what the Joie de Vivre stands for. And she is stunning. She looks as if you're in a 20th century little Paris, and just exceptional. You look at these little pictures here and see she just oozes Paris. And so it's quite lovely. She was inaugurated in 2017, so she's not very old. She only sails on the Seine River. What is so cool about her, I think one of the top selling points, is that we dock very close to the Eiffel Tower on her. And the reason we do is we've kept her just down to 128 guests, 54 staff. And so that means she's a little bit smaller in her length. And that means she can get into that part of the river of the Seine where the Eiffel Tower is about a 10-minute walk. And everybody else is way out of the city because they can't get into this area of the river. And so that's a huge selling point to be on with Uniworld doing the Seine River, Paris and Normandy. So you see here, she has the little cafe. She's got a little private dining area, a chef's table also. And she's got several suites, our deluxe French balconies, a French balcony, a classic cabin. So there are several cabin categories to choose from. So what does this itinerary look like? It is Paris and Normandy, round trip Paris, 8 days. It is 7 nights of cruising, 19 meals, 6 excursions, and 1 UNESCO World Heritage Site, though I believe there's more than that. So as I mentioned, she is round trip Paris. So we're going to go up the Seine River. We're going to get to a point where we can no longer sail on the river. That's when we're going to go over to the Normandy beaches. And then we'll go back to the Seine and sail our way back down to Paris. So it is round trip Paris. You will fly in and out of Paris, out of the Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. When you arrive, you will be transferred, if you've taken our transfers, to the ship. We'll meet you at the airport, help you get your luggage, and get you onto our coach, and we'll transfer you to the ship, where you will board the ship very close to the Eiffel Tower. If you kind of walk up the steps from where the river is, you could see the Eiffel Tower glaring there with all her glory. And so it's a wonderful sight to be seen. On day one of all of the cruises I'm going to talk about today is really just an embarkation day. We're not going to be going out and doing scheduled tours with Uniworld. It is a day for you to get adjusted to some jet lag, to being in a new time zone, get into your cabin, unpack, refresh, stay up as long as you can, come have lunch with us, come have our first night's dinner. And day two is really where we're going to start our touring. And this is a wonderful day. So today we have sailed the Seine, and we have stopped in Giverny, where we will have the opportunity to visit Claude Monet's home and gardens. And this is just a little picture. I've been here before. The gardens are stunning. I'm so jealous because I can not grow any of these things in my yard. And we walk the gardens, the little lily pads out on the lake. It's just beautiful. It's a French countryside, and his estate is beautiful. You walk into his home, so you actually get to go into his home and see his artwork hanging on the walls. And it's hanging like from mid-level all the way up to the ceiling. They're just stunning pieces of art right there for you to enjoy as you walk through his home. What is really neat about this also is we have a countryside let's go bike ride that you can do. And it will get you, the bike ride will take you close into Monet's home where you get in and you just walk in into his estate there. The bike ride is not difficult in any means. It's quite lovely just to get out on a bike with us. We don't charge for bicycles, so that's quite nice. If you haven't been on a bike, maybe day 2 is not the day to get on a bike. If you haven't been on one in a while, let's leave that for the last day. And then day 3, we will go ahead and walk the Dukes of Normandy capital, which is of Rion. And this is cobblestone streets and architecture that really looks as it did in the days of Joan of Arc, Richard the Lionheart. Also, this was home to Claude Monet. And I will say, when I did this, it is just such a quaint little area, this town, that they've really kept it so it looks like it did so many centuries ago. And I think that's so neat. We're kind of in an era where we just tear stuff down when it starts to look old. They've kept it up and it's beautiful. It's as if you could walk right with Joan of Arc and Richard the Lionheart. So this is a really exceptional day. Day 4, which is Honfleur or Etretat. This is a wonderful seaside harbor. It's got fabulous little seafood restaurants and an older village that they've also kept intact. And it's just lovely to walk by and see all the little sailboats and go in. You know, if you have time, I would say stop at one of the restaurants and have lunch. You know, forget getting back on to the ship, just enjoy lunch, especially if you love seafood in this little village, because you'll remember it. I remember how lovely it was to sit with my husband and my dad and eat our way through all the seafood that we ordered that day. But if you are a golfer, this is the day that you want to go golfing. This golf course, Etretat, is voted as the best in all of France. And so this is the day, if you are a golfer, to go golf, forget the seafood, enjoy golf. But what I will say, it is an additional cost and it does sell out for us every single sailing. So you need to get that booked right away. Get yourself booked right now on this whole thing. And golf, we've only got a handful of spots since it is the most voted the best golf course in all of France. Day 5, the Normandy beaches. So as you may remember on our map, I showed you that we can't sail up into the beaches, right? The river doesn't go that direction. So we take you via motor coach to the beaches. And this is a day that you will remember for all of its history and reflection. We've done a wonderful job of going and having a wreath laying ceremony with you. You'll get off to the beaches. You'll hear the history. There's so much there during this day that it is so impactful. I just remember my father, who is retired Air Force, standing beside him and doing the wreath laying ceremony and just being so proud of his service when he was in the Air Force. And it is a wonderful day of celebration, especially as we reflect on 80 years of the landing of Normandy beaches. It is a day you will not forget. It is a very long day, I will say that. We leave early in the morning and we get back quite late. I think we walk on and have dinner on board the ship, and that's fine. It's a wonderful day, and I know that with MOAA, we've got some extra things planned for this particular day on day 5. So it will be a day that you will remember and tell your family and friends about for sure.
Nicole?
Yes, John.
I just wanted to jump in because I think it's really important and interesting that way back when we did the very first one of the many reasons we picked Uniworld for the Paris and Normandy crew for the 75th anniversary was the choice of three beaches. You can go to the US beaches, the British and Australia beaches, or the Canadian beaches. And I know a lot of people, when we talk about this, said they've already been, but you probably haven't been to all of the beaches. So it's an opportunity to go on a beach on your own. And then all three groups, depending on which beach you go to, do meet up at the cemetery. So everyone will be together there for the Riesling, the Plain of Taps, and all the other special things that we have at that day. So yeah, if you're thinking to yourself, I've already been, here's an opportunity to see more than just, one beach, to go see another one. And the number of people that have done that and come back and say, I'm so glad I went, because, there's so much to see there and so much to experience. And once again, if you go by yourself, it's an experience. But if you go with a group, our group's going to be 128 people with 64 staterooms. So over 100 of your fellow MOAA members are going to be there together. I just heard repeatedly from people in 2019, there was not a dry eye in the crowd with all the events we had planned for that day. It is something you do not want to miss. Sorry to interject. I just think it's important for people to know that they have that choice.
I absolutely agree. Excellent point, John. Thank you so much. And I agree. I'd go off to one of the other beaches now that I've done the one. So excellent point. Thank you for interrupting.
Sure. Interjecting, not interrupting.
Interjecting. Okay, we'll say that. Thank you. Yep. So we're going to go the opposite of going to Normandy, and day 6 is Versailles. And this is a wonderful, opulent stop that we do is in Versailles. And what Uniworld does great here is we do the private quarters and the chapel. So number one, we've bypassed all the lines. So you are not waiting in line to get into Versailles. We're getting you right in when we arrive. We're going to go, go, go. We're going to see it all. And when you get in, you are going to go into those private quarters in the chapel, which is not open to the public. Uniworld has done that. And get you in there to see that, which is really quite exclusive. This is a day of opulence. So it's the opposite of day 5. This is over the top. It is jaw-dropping. I've never seen such opulence in this palace. That was built by the Sun King, and really a great little stop. I'm so glad that we do it and continue to do it. While on day 7, we are back in Paris. So we've gotten the ship back, and this is a very light day. You can choose to go out with us. You can choose to do a tour of your own. Perhaps you've been to Paris before, and now you want to go in and do some really specific things in Paris. You certainly can do that. But if you're staying with us and doing our tours, then we've got several choices for you in Paris to do. You can do some walking tours, some city tours. You can do bike tours if you'd like with us. There's a lot to do in Paris, obviously. This is an evening where we do say farewell to you, and there is a farewell dinner. But we also have some other options for you, like if you wanted to go off and do dinner in the Eiffel Tower, you certainly could if you make that reservation in advance. So there are options for you in this day. It is Paris. You are located on that ship just right by the Eiffel Tower. It's a lovely little stone's throw, and you're really going to enjoy your last day in Paris. As we say farewell to you on day 8, and we disembark the ship for your private transfers, or if you did a post trip, we'll help you out there. So that is our Paris and Normandy itinerary, a very quick version of it since we have so many to cover today. But this will at least give you some insights as to what we're going to see and do when we're on our Paris and Normandy. Let's now switch over to Venice, and September 8th to the 15th are the days that we have for MOAA. This is a lovely cruise. I did this, gosh, probably in 2017. I loved it. And when you see this picture here, this is what you're seeing. So many people come into Venice, and it's a cruise stop. or it's a one-night stay in a hotel, we're going to be in Venice and seeing the Isles of Venice. And it is lovely. There is so much to see and do. It's so sad that people only go to it for the day off of an ocean cruise ship, when you can spend so much time in this little jewel of Italy. I think it's just one of the most fabulous destinations in all of Italy. So MOAA has chosen this wonderful date in September, beginning of September, lovely weather over in Italy. You're really going to enjoy that climate right as they kind of go into their fall. And we have got our beautiful SS La Venezia. And the vivacity of Venice. She is Italian in look and feel. So when we were in Paris, we were on a Parisian ship. When we're in Italy, we're on an Italian ship. So it looks like Italy, looks and feels like Italy. She was inaugurated in 2003, but transformed in 2020. So at the beginning of 2020, we took her in and we gave her a big old facelift, and she looks brand new. Just the hull of her is her old self. And just 126 guests, which is so nice. Again, our staff gets to know you by name, morning 2. So you arrive day 1, morning 2, we know you by name. And usually by that night, we know your favorite drink, because that's important to us, to know what and anticipate your wants and needs. She has several suites on board her, a French balcony, a deluxe cabin, and a classic cabin. We are going to do, again, this one is round trip Venice to Venice, 8 days, 7 nights of cruising. So we are moving this ship. We're not staying in the Venice area. 20 meals, 6 days of excursions, 3 UNESCO World Heritage sites. And so you're going to see and do a lot on this itinerary, even though you're not making a lot of mileage around Italy. So do know that. Here is a nice breakdown of your days of where we're going. So let's go ahead and look. Just imagine yourself on one of those little boats right there, just sailing and having your gondolier sing to you, and as you pass by all the little shops in Venice. It really is just this lovely. I've done this itinerary. So you will arrive day 1 in Venice Marco Polo airport. We will transfer you to the ship, get you on board, get you into your cabin as soon as we can that day. And of course, you are always free to, if you've arrived in the morning, to have breakfast with us or lunch with us in the afternoon. The bar is open again, all inclusive drinking on here. Enjoy the ship as you'd like, or a really good thing to do is to get out into Venice and just walk, get over that jet lag. The neat thing about Venice, I'm so glad somebody told me this before I arrived into Venice, and it really is that once you get into the city of Venice, all the little alleys and stuff, just keep on walking, go down, turn right, turn left. You'll always get back to kind of the center of Venice. There's no getting lost in Venice. And that's so true. And once you know that, that's so important, because then you feel like you're able to do anything and go anywhere, because you just walk and you eventually get right back to where you started. So go enjoy Venice on your day 1 of getting over jet lag. Today, day 2, so the next day, we're going to go and visit Doge's Palace. And we get to go and visit the palace in private without the crowd. So again, another opportunity to have something that is exclusive to Uniworld. Again, we love to do that so that you aren't wasting your time waiting in line, but that also we keep you into that small group so you can ask questions, you can take photos, because you're going to want to see the gilded gold ceilings of the Doge's Palace. It is jaw-dropping, this palace, and again, the opulence of this particular palace. This night is really an amazing night. This is probably the one thing I remember with the most clarity was going to St. Mark's Basilica. And we go in there with a private guide. They have shut down the Basilica. It is only Uniworld guests, so 128 of us. if we sell this out. Go in without any crowds. There's not another person in there that's outside of the MOAA group. And we go in, and with this private guide who is very well versed in St. Mark's Basilica and all things Venice. And we go in and we have an experience. I don't want to tell you all of it, but I will tell you, we sit down into the palace in our seats, and the lights are really low, and they start to come on, and you see just this beautiful basilica. And what is so neat about it is we also get to see the jewels of the basilica, and those jewels are only shown on Easter and Christmas and every time Uniworld goes in there. So I think that's really quite cool. You also get to go into the catacombs, which aren't always opened. And so we take you into that. So again, another exclusive with the Uniworld. Day 3, we are going to do a Venice walk and meet with a gondola artisan. So go out and learn about that history of making those gondolas, and how expensive they are, and how these are people's careers that last their entire lives. And I can tell you, just in my own gondola experience, I loved it. I thought it was very romantic, having a man sing to me and sail me around Venice. And it really was quite beautiful. We are also going to go into the very first indoor theater, which was made of wood, stucco, plaster way back in 1585. So we go into that. It's was used for theater and musical productions. And we also do the theater of the Olympics. And we go off and do that. There's a Padua walking tour. So this is a very, very busy day for you to enjoy with us as we go into day 4. Day 4 is filled with shopping, restaurants. We go into little delis, as you can see this picture here, and we can taste some of the meats and the pastas and such. We learn so much just walking, and like a local does. And we go into the island of Burano. What is so neat about the island of Burano is it was an old fisherman's village. And when the fishermen back in the day painted their houses really bright colors, so we're talking bright purple, bright greens, bright pinks, and all of them were different colors. Every single house is a different color. And why was that? Because as the fishermen were making their way back on their boats with all their fish, they needed to figure out which home was theirs to stop at. And so they brightly colored their homes in Burano, and it's a beautiful little island. And there's so many shops and restaurants, and ladies, there's lace shops. I've never seen such beautiful lace as I did in Burano. So we'll also do a Murano glass blowing demonstration where you can watch these wonderful artisans make these Murano glass fixtures. You also have the opportunity to purchase some of your own if you'd like. And I do remember that they would ship them back for you and insure them and everything for you. So that's really a neat day. Day 5 in Chioggia. Chioggia, I remember that they had this really quaint, like farmer's market, if you will, when we were there. And I think the days we arrive, we make sure that the farmer's market is going. We also had a wonderful bike ride. And I did do this because it was getting close to the end of my vacation. So if I broke an arm, it didn't matter, right, John? And so we did bike our way through the little islands and stopped several places. There's so much to do on this day. It's kind of a day where you can just get lost and not really worry about where you are. You just want to make sure you're back on the ship when we're leaving. But it's a nice day to just stroll and be casual. I loved Chioggia almost as much as Burano. This is another day that is really neat because we're going to sail the Po Delta. And it was the very first picture on the screen when I was showing the dates for this itinerary. That is what you're going to be sailing past that whole day. And it's lovely to just get up on the top deck, have a spritzer with us, and look at these wonderful buildings as we're sailing right past them. It is an amazing sailing excursion day to just, again, relax on the top deck with us, have lunch. We serve pizza up on the top deck in our little wood fire pizza oven. So go up there, grab some local Italian wine, enjoy the scenery on day 6 because it's really an exceptional day. Day 7, Venice, we're going to hop in a water taxi and we're going to go into the Grand Canal. You're having an opportunity to do the Rialto walking tour with Casanova. You can go off and sail with a gondolier. That is an additional cost, just so you know. It's a day to just be in Venice. I know when I was on this day, we went off and just had dinner on our own. So you certainly could do that if you'd like. It's a nice day to spend right in Venice. Get lost. Like I said, you can't get lost. You'll eventually get back to that same area that you started at. So go and do that. Enjoy the day. Do some shopping. Spend money in Venice. It's really quite beautiful. And what I do have to say about Uniworld is we're the only ship that's docked right there near St. Mark's Basilica, because they no longer allow those ocean ships to come in. And so we're the ones there during our Venice time. And so that's really quite neat. And then day 8, we're going to disembark. We're going to say goodbye to you and let you go along your way, either extending your vacation or flying back to the States or wherever home is for you. Okay, I know we just got done with the holiday season, but there's nothing better than going right into next season and getting prepared for it early.
Nicole, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, John.
Okay, so the biking. I want to say I don't bike, but when I went on that Generations cruise, which is for the families, I had a teenage daughter and she mentioned the bikes are free. So my daughter wanted to bike every morning. So we'd get up either before or after breakfast and go for a short little bike ride before the excursion. You're along the river, so it's perfectly flat. You're not on roads. There's trails there. Trust me, it's completely safe and it's an easy bike ride. I don't think until that cruise, I don't think I'd been on a bike for probably 20 years, but just flat along the river. It was beautiful. We went at a nice slow pace. So definitely, if you want to get your feet wet just one morning, just get up. The bikes are right there. They'll just hand them to you. They give you the lock. Just go up and down 120, 130 yards, something like that. Just short little drive to get a feel for it. And then you can decide if you want to go on a much longer one, but very, very safe. So
it is. It absolutely is.
Huh?
You're just not a klutz like me, John. I'm one of those people.
No hills, no turns. It was easy. So there you go.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is flat. We're not talking hills and mountains or anything.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you said that.
Christmas time.
Christmas time. So Christmas time, this particular sailing is December 9th to the 16th of this year. We sell out during Christmas markets. MOAA has chosen the Danube to sail on, and I think it's an excellent choice because I love the cities on the Danube. They are grand. We've got some of the largest Christmas markets. I've done the Danube several times during Christmas season. I love it. I love it because of the smells, right? All of the gingerbread and the glühwein, which is just a warmed wine, mulled wine, if you will. I love the European Santas walking around. I love the shopping, of course. And I love all the lights and the music playing and people gathering from around the world to go into these Christmas markets. It really is an amazing experience. It's wonderful to get in right before Christmas. There's nothing that puts you more in the mood for Christmas than going over and sailing on a Christmas market cruise. So I'm excited to share with you that we will be sailing the SS Maria Teresa for this itinerary. She's only a handful of years old. And what we do is we go into her, and at the end of kind of November, and we gussy her up and make her look like Christmas. So we have got the beautiful garland. We have got gingerbread houses that our chefs have made. We've got decorated Christmas trees. She oozes Christmas time, and that's really nice. And you are floating on a castle this week. She is grand in nature, the Maria Teresa. She is fashioned after Maria Teresa's summer palace in Venice, which you will go off and see and tour. And it's got a lovely Christmas market in it. And when you get back onto the ship, you're going to be like, oh, I'm sailing in her palace this week. So we are now sailing in a palace on the Danube River. So this ship holds only 150 guests, which is quite nice. We're going to have carolers on board. All throughout the week, we're going to have entertainment, in case I didn't cover that, on all of these itineraries. So there's always something to do, to dance or whatever on board our ship, or have a band come in or whatever. This particular one, we have some carolers come on board. I think towards the end of the week, we have our staff get into the lounge and sing some Christmas carols with you. So it's really quite lovely. As I said, we're sailing the Danube River, Passau to Budapest. This is 8 days. So we're going to do 7 nights of cruising. By the way, when we're cruising all these rivers, we do go through locks. And locks are really neat. As you know, the river water kind of has to be stopped as we let other ships come and go and stuff. And so these locks are amazing to get out of your stateroom, to go up on the top deck, go into our lounge, wherever, and go through these locks. It's really exceptional. I find myself on like the 5th lock we go through, I'm like, okay, I've seen and done it 5 times now. My husband wants to go and see every single lock we go through, even if it's in the middle of the night. So it's all up to you if you want to. But I did want to also say that too. We do have 20 meals, 12 excursions, 4 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. This is the itinerary. So we're doing Passau is where we're getting on board the ship. And we're sailing down to Budapest. So we're not doing round trip Passau. We're going to end in Budapest is where we get off, which is an excellent place to get off and spend an extra day or two. I love Budapest. It's a wonderful, wonderful city. So enjoy it if you'd like to stay. We arrive into Munich Airport. We'll meet you there. We'll transfer your luggage. We'll get you again on board the ship and into your cabin as quickly as we possibly can. Day 2 is Passau. And Passau is neat. It is where 3 rivers meet, actually, is in Passau. And we go off to a lot of Christmas markets throughout this week. This particular Christmas market has got around 70 stalls to explore. So you're going to have a lot of Christmas markets throughout the week. So don't buy and spend all your money this week, this particular day, because you're going to see everything as we sail down the Danube. But there's so many here. What I love about the Christmas markets is there's unique things to buy there for your family. Because I've been on them so many times, I've waited to do all of my Christmas shopping until I get to the Christmas markets. And then I'm bringing something unique home for my friends and family. So that's quite neat. So there's so many things here to explore. We, of course, are going to do a walking tour and tell you the history of Passau. Salzburg. This is the day. It's my favorite day. The river, you do see a river here, but this is not where our ship is. This is a motor coach ride from the Danube River up to Salzburg. So I think this is Linz. We're going to motor coach our way up into Salzburg. The hills are alive with the sound of music, right? It is the birthplace of Mozart. It is so fun to walk around Salzburg. It's jaw-dropping, if you will. The McDonald's sign is even extraordinary on the street of Salzburg. There's little Christmas markets. I remember probably 4 Christmas markets to go through just in Salzburg. And so There's lots to explore. We give you free time in Salzburg, and it is a must. You can stay on the ship or near the ship and not do the trek to Salzburg, but I would tell you that that would be a mistake. Go to Salzburg, especially if you haven't been there. But even if you have, go do something new on your own. Our staff on board our ship can help you with this. Day 4, we go off and we do some really fun things like spiced wine tasting. I didn't know I needed that class, but I did. It was quite cool. We go to an organ concert in a monastery. And I remember that just being like, wow, you know, it really takes you into a time of when we had monks in monasteries and such, and their robes and such. It really just was quite lovely. We also did, you see this little horse and carriage ride? We did that when we were on this day in day 4 on the Wakaha Valley. Because it's lovely to just stroll past all the shops and the tours and such. Of course, this is another day where we are going to go to Christmas markets. Every single day we'll have a Christmas market for you. Vienna, we're going to go off and do a walking tour of Vienna. We're also going to go off and visit the Vienna Art History Museum. We have special VIP access for you into that. And then we also go to what I think is one of the neatest stops, and that is Maria Theresa's Summer Palace, where we also go to her Christmas market. And so we go through this palace, and we, of course, get to see some of those private rooms because, of course, we're with Uniworld. It is a palace where it is a little more busy, so it isn't closed exclusively to us, but you will get some exclusive things when you're in the palace with us. As you've noticed, every single day we're kind of in another country. And this is one of those days where we've hit Bratislava. And so you can check that off of the countries you've visited. What we'll do here is a walking tour when we're in Bratislava. And we'll go to a wonderful Christmas market that only dates back to 1993. So many of these Christmas markets are decades old, but this one is only just a couple of decades. 1993 was just yesterday, it seems, for some of us my age. And so it's another wonderful Christmas market. But again, every day, as we've seen with all the markets, that you get different things that you can buy that are known for that country. So buy something in Bratislava and bring it back. And I can tell you, your friends and family will be really impressed with that. Day 7 is Budapest, and I love Budapest. It is 2 cities, Buda and Pest, on different sides of the Danube River. And we have got several tour options for you to do today. You can do a walking tour. You can do as the locals do with our Christmas markets. It is one of the neatest places. And I would tell you that if you have the time after this cruise to stay over in Budapest, to do it, to spend an extra day or two and walk around and see both sides of the river. It is very, very safe. There's so much to see and do. We went off to one of the baths that they have and went in and enjoyed their pools and such, which was really quite neat. And another thing we did is we went privately, and you can do this, I can get you the name of it, is we went to a bunker that was an old bunker back in the war, built into a rock, and it's a winery. And you can go in there. It only holds like 20 people at a time. You can go in there and have some wine and cheese and crackers and stuff and see one of the old bunkers in the countryside. It's really quite fabulous. So Budapest is one of my very favorite cities in all of Europe. And I always am very happy to go back and spend some time in Budapest. Day 8, we say goodbye to you, but you're going to go home and enjoy the holidays with your friends and family after having a wonderful Uniworld cruise. I think that's it, John. Have I gone over enough?
Yeah, they go back for the holidays and they got all their shopping done, right?
Yeah, they do. They're taken care of.
You know, it's interesting. Salzburg is one of my favorite cities, so that seems to be the cruise for us. Hey, before we jump into the Q&A, just a couple of things, and I did want to expand upon something Nicole said. For those of you who've never been on a river cruise before and you've just been on ocean cruises, it is an absolutely different experience. And let's just take embarkation and disembarkation, because I've talked about this before, and the people who are not familiar with it are completely amazed. When you're picked up at the airport, when your flight lands and you get to the ship, you immediately walk right on the ship. Now, if your stateroom's not empty, they take your bags, and then you're free. As soon as you step on that ship, your cruise has begun. So if you're there early enough to go to lunch, you can go to lunch. Nicole mentioned you can go to the bar and have a drink. You can get off and take a bite. You can go, sightsee, do a little shopping, whatever you want to do. So the minute you walk on board, there's no waiting in line. And then as soon as your stateroom's available, you can go to your stateroom. Disembarkation is the same type of thing, where after breakfast, you're going to need to vacate your stateroom because they're going to need to clean those and prepare them for the next group that's coming in. But you don't have to disembark the ship. So you go to breakfast, and let's say you have a later flight. You're more than welcome to stay on board. You can have lunch if you're still there. Of course, your open bar is still there. You continue to have drinks. You can hop off and shop and then come back on. And you're really just treated as a guest the entire time. You're not pushed off, at 9 a.m. and they're calling, Orange 6 needs to disembark at this time. It's just a much more relaxing kind of vacation. So something, if you've not been on a river cruise before, specifically if you haven't been on Uniworld, you're just going to love. Okay. So real quick, we actually have a website set up for all of these cruises. This is actually Normandy. You can see the tabs at the top. As Nicole said, limited availability. You can actually pick the exact stateroom you want. So once you decide you want to go, you just click on that tab on the end, book now, you fill out your information, we get it. There's actually a space on that form where you say, this is the room I want. Someone will call you back, get your credit card, and then book you in that room. There's a pricing and accommodations page we're going to go to next in just one second. Day-by-day itinerary. I know Nicole just went through it, but if you want to read it, a list of inclusions, everything that's included, and of course, terms and conditions. So if we look at that pricings and accommodations page, if you want to click to the next one, okay, this is the second Paris and Normandy cruise. So as you can see, there's only 14 available staterooms on this cruise. As I mentioned, the June 2nd one is sold out. I think we have one room left. It's something like it's one of those classic rooms. It's like 205 or something like that. But so if you decide you want to go, you look at this, you say, you know what, I'm going to splurge. I want a butler. I'm going to go in a suite. And then you just fill out that booking form and you say, I want 410. Somebody calls you back. You're in 410. It's that simple. So I don't see any questions. I think that's the last slide other than just our contact information. Yeah. So if you have any questions, give us a call or drop us an email. We'll get you in contact with one of the cruise consultants who's doing that cruise. We'd love to have you on board. As I mentioned, MOAA leadership and staff will be on board. Someone from MOAA Vacations will also be there escorting it. You will have someone you can ask for assistance, help, guidance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're there to make this the most enjoyable vacation you've ever had. We did have one question about singles. If you want to go as a single, we do a single pairing. So there are 60,000 plus surviving spouses in MOAA. So if you are a female or a male and you want to go and you don't want to pay the single supplement, we will actually pair you up with another female or another male, same sex, obviously, and then you don't have to pay any supplement. We have had great success with that. We have people that we put together way back in 2019 when we did the very first signature group. A couple of ladies who met each other, I think a couple of couples of ladies that met each other and have continued to sail together every year since then. There will be a number of singles on board. I can tell you all of the sailings already have singles on board. So don't worry about you're going to go and everybody's going to be a couple and you're going to be odd man out. And of course, you wouldn't need to worry about that anyway, because everyone on the ship is going to be a MOAA member. And so I like to describe them. They're friends you just haven't met yet. So I know we're a couple of minutes over. Don't have any other questions. If anything comes to mind, give us a call. Friends and family want to come with you, share this video with them. On behalf of myself, MOAA, everyone at MOAA Vacations, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And we have a question that hops in. Whenever I start to say goodbye, David asked about pricing. Yes, the pricing is on that pricing and accommodations page. for all of them. The price varies by the cabin accommodations. Real quick, I can tell you, if we go back and we look at that, the Paris and Normandy, the least expensive room, which is the classic, is $5,099 per person. When we look at the Venice and Jewels of Veneto, it's the pink one, if you can see that. Venice and the Jewels of Veneto. The only category that remains is the deluxe. Those are $4,099 per person. And then when you look at Christmas markets, all of the cabin categories are available. It starts at $36.99. That is once again for the classic Riverview rooms. But as I said, when I send you the video, when you receive the invitation, there should have been all three of them. When I send you the video, I will include a link to the website for each one of these, and you can go in and you can see the price. What is it for a classic room? What is it for a balcony? What is it for a deluxe balcony? What is it for a suite, a grand suite, if they're available? As I mentioned on Venice and Veneto, all we have left are the deluxe rooms. Sorry, another question popped up. Thanks, David. He says it's all first class. It is very first class with Uniworld. Okay, so we have all the websites. I'll include that with the video so you can actually go and look. And as I said, pick out the exact stateroom you want. And so once again, thanks everyone for joining us. I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. Before I do, thank you very much, Nicole, for once again taking time out of your busy schedule to spend it with us and tell us more, not only about Uniworld, about these fantastic cruises we have available. I'm going to give it to you for the last word.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, John, and everyone for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you're excited. I hope you're ready to book with John and his staff. And I thank you so much for your time. Come sail with us. We'd love to welcome you on board onto our home.
Thank you. See everyone on board. Bye.